this skips, the bottoms fell out of it. So it's done it before, so we're going to fix it. Just going to change the screen now, the settings of the spreader, because he's going spreading fertilizer on some grassland. So we're going to change the products. And Andrew's found this on TikTok. Display cleaning mode. So you press the back button, and if you press that one at the bottom, it means that you can mess with the screen and clean it without it doing anything. And you escape it there. How good's that? Next to the display button. Oh, why are they open? Right, so we want to change it to different product. A to H. Urea, calcifert, TSP, slugs, single top, double top. Right, I'll have to look on my phone now for the right setting. All calibrated now. We have an app, and you put the fertilizer in, and then you dial it into the screen, the credentials of the fertilizer, the flow characteristics and the spread characteristics, and then it sets the machine up for it. You can get to it by scanning that as well. Never showed you the after picture yesterday. It's all clean now. Andrew did it yesterday. It usually a quick scrub. It does need a good polish though, because the lacquer's just a little bit kind of dull now. It needs like the top coat polishing, because we just put it to work after we painted it. It's that time of year where we're trying to estimate how much wheat's left in the shed and hope it matches to what we've sold and what we weighed in at harvest. But in order to do that, I'm going to push the pile a bit neater, because it's kind of spread out, and try and cube it up and then work it out on the bushel weight. The bushel weight is what a kilo, how much a litre of it weighs. So if you imagine a cube, so if I get it into square meters, it roughly weighs about, this stuff weighs about 750 kilos per square meter. So we'll try and push it all up and see what it looks like. The chipper wouldn't start anyway. Couldn't work out what it was. Thought the battery was low because we've not used it for a few days. It's had an emergency stopping. It got pressed in by someone by mistake and was sticking. So half an hour of messing around with the circuit tester, trying to work out exactly which one it was, because there's so many on it. Rob's got it running, thank God. So what we want to do is we want to turn some of this bigger chip, like that, into some smaller chip, like that, and it flows through the boiler better. So this is what we call a double chip bay. This is a bit, well, getting low, so we'll put some double chip through today, fill this up, and tomorrow we'll do some big chip from the big pile over there. That's what we like to see, the chipper working, running full bore. Andrew's just blading it up now with the pusher. And then if we can get the top sort of flat and it all equal all the way over, push the corners in, and then we can do the maths then and work out the cubic area it's taken up, and then obviously then times it by 0.75, and it should roughly tell us how many tons. And then we'll compare that to what's gone over the weighbridge coming in at harvest and what's gone out already. Andrew's back from spreading, and someone's written on the back of the spreader, gold dust. It kind of does sum it up. Did anyone hear Radio 2 today? So they had on George MONBIOT, who just hates farmers, completely hates the NFU, saying that it's ludicrous that we're now allowed to spread them up earlier than we should have done, and blah, 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 blah. And it really winds me up that this guy, you know, there is some farmers out there that do dump too much slurry just to get rid of it because they've not got the capacity. But that, to solve that problem, you don't put legislation and make them farm by a diary. You know, you can give them grants to invest in infrastructure maybe, or encourage them to sell it to other people or move it around. You know, it is a valuable thing. Lots of farmers don't want to put it on at the wrong time of the year. They don't want to put it on when it's wet and it's going to get washed away, because they want the benefit of it, especially due to the price of fertilizer. Because don't forget, we thought it was expensive at £250 a tonne, never mind £1,000 a tonne. Anyway, George was on his high horse going out, it's just ruining the rivers, it's doing this, it's doing that, yet the water companies can still dump what they want. The guy is an idiot. He won't listen. He's just got a huge Twitter account and a freaking Guardian article. He won't come out on farms. He won't look at good practice. You know, there might be less than 5% of farmers do sort of bend the rules or make a mess. But the whole farming by calendar, I talked about this the other day. Obviously, we've been spreading urea fertilizer this week into April in really cold conditions, moist soil, off it goes. That now will be illegal, but spreading it in March is fine. Now, the other day in March, it was 20 odd degrees. That day when I went to that Dynameter day, I burnt my face. It was that hot. That was less than ideal conditions. Now, the soil would have still not been warm enough, but it's far better of any risk of doing it just before rain in April in the cold. Now, the whole farming rules for water was trying to make us all fit to these diary dates. Oh no, you can't spread muck now until after September, after August, or whichever it was. And now they've obviously like relaxed it for 12 months because of the fertilizer crisis. And he's like, they're just jumping on the conflict. Well, no, we're not. We just want to be able to use that stuff efficiently in front of a crop to get it going out into winter. Like the oilseed rape that's completely grazed, and the Bill's isn't, because Bill managed to be able to put some muck on it beforehand, whereas we didn't have access to any. So if you look at that, he's now got a crop and not spent all year chasing pigeons off it. It should yield better, and the inputs will give him better return. I'm still chasing pigeons because it's that far behind. You know, we're not putting this stuff on because we're trying to get rid of it. We're putting it on because we want to grow crops, and we want to grow them right, and we want to establish them right as well. We don't want to spend all year then putting expensive inputs on so that they play catch up. We want to get them out the ground to start with. You know, we've farmed for thousands of years, including using muck. It's the oldest profession in the world. What I mean, some people might argue about that one actually, but what is going on, and why was he given that airtime? So we had George MONBIOT talking backwards and forwards with just like a couple of farmers that weren't briefed. Now, I got told it was going to be on. I text Radio 2. They rang me up. They didn't tell me the full details. They didn't tell me George was going to be on. And I was like, is it about fertilizer? Well, you know, this is what I'm doing, and I don't think there's enough muck to go around. Anyway, they never rang me back, but they did speak to some other farmers, which were pretty good. But why was George there fully briefed about what they were going to go on about in his rant? But these other farmers had like minutes to decide what they were going to say after they'd heard him. Or one guy was even on the phone and didn't hear it till he said it. You know, it wasn't very balanced, I don't think. But that's just Jeremy Vine's programme, isn't it? Anyone that's watching abroad will not know who Jeremy Vine is, but he likes to have a controversial radio programme, so people tune in and go, did you hear that today? It was a bit of an extravagant move, wasn't it? Anyway, let's go and do the birthday bumper. Just as a press stop, I realised I just ranted for 3 minutes 41 seconds about George MONBIOT, so sorry about that. This is today's birthday bumper. Wayne Loveridge, Dickie Garth, Stuart Preston and Mark Berry. Not the Mark Berry that I know, but there it is. Someone said, why don't I read them all out? Well, the problem with reading them all out is some names are difficult to pronounce. I don't want to pronounce them wrong, so it's better not to. And also when it's long, it'll take up more time for those that don't want to see the birthday bumper. But for those that don't mind seeing the birthday bumper, it's only 500 quid it's raised. So I'm made up. It's like, I think we've been doing it less than 2 weeks, and we've raised that much, so it's great. Trying to work out if we chopped that off there and then flipped it upside down, that'd make that level. And then chop that there, flip that upside down, that'll make that level. Then we can cube it all up. It's only working out like 405, 410 ton, and I was hoping there was more like 540 ton there, so I need to work out what's gone wrong. Dead easy quiz question today. There's a weight block off a John Deere tractor, the 7710. How much does that weigh? If you think you know, leave a comment below. See, someone's been messing on the whiteboard today, which is a shame because I'd written something on it yesterday and forgot to show it you. Anyway, I'll change it. Oh, before I do, something to come in the post. Off Cramp. Here it is. In fact, guess what that is. 2 quiz questions today. You're doing well. Quick update on the clothing. Lots of people are actually wanting it to wear. Now, this is another question for you as well. Sorry. So we've got it obviously embroidered on here. But should we be embroidering it down the arm instead, and then it leaves the front free for if anyone put their own stuff on, or is it better being on the front? What do you think? We're going to try and get it on the website as soon as we can, so that people can sort of pre-order sizes, not pay for it, but just like get some suggestions. Because what I don't want to do is order like 50 large and everyone wants 50 XL or 20 medium. So if we get them on the website up and running and decide where we want the branding to be, then you go on and you can sort of like go through the motions, but it'll say out of stock, but then it'll give us an idea then of what sizes to order, so we don't end up ordering the wrong sizes and then they've not been able to get them out quick enough. So if anyone is interested on here or on the sleeve, it's not on the sleeve yet, but obviously that's where we can put it, let me know. Anyway, that is all for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bit of a short one today because I've spent most of my time in the office trying to work out grain tonnages and work out what's moved, what's not, and what we've got left, so that I don't end up selling more grain than I've got in the shed. Anyway, bit of a boring one that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Actually, it's not the end. I've just realised who's going to the Cheshire Agricultural Trade Fair. I've forgotten the name of it. It's on there tomorrow. I'm going to try and go because it looks like it's going to be a damp day. So if anyone's there, say hello.